So 2K made a little bit of a screw up, or a lot of bit of a screw up. The biggest screw up I think that they have made in several years this morning. It was not a glitch. For those of y'all who are not aware, which I assume that at this point most of y'all are, but this Diamond Paul George that y'all see on screen right here was made the deal of the day about 12 hours ago as I'm recording this video. And for about 5 hours was buyable for 32,000 MT, 30,000 MT, something like that, and then could promptly be turned around and sold for 70,000 MT. So you're profiting almost 40,000 MT every single time you bought and sold this Paul George card for 5 hours. People made tens of millions of MT, literally, locked in every single card of the game. And a lot of people now have every single buyable card in the game completely for free. People who literally had never played MyTEAM this year. I mean, people who've never played MyTEAM this year who had stopped playing MyTEAM came back and did this glitch, and tons of people made a ridiculous amount of MT and got every single card in the game basically off of this glitch, which is, I don't, however you feel about it, whether you like that or not, I don't personally hate it. I actually think it's not that big of a deal, honestly, considering that at least in Unlimited, the skill-based matchmaking, for sweats anyway, was already going to put you up against dang near the best team in the game with almost every single card, every single game pretty much. So I don't really have that much of a problem with people being able to get every single card for free with the way that this game has been this year, especially with how money hungry 2K has been, because while there have been bright spots, and actually I think as of late they've done a slightly better job as a whole with content and with the way that things have been going. And I've made a couple of positive videos actually recently talking about the different things that 2K has been doing well. But I don't have a problem with this, because as a whole, 2K has done a crappy job, really, for the last pretty much calendar year at this point. Ever since they banned people from 250K and banned everybody for buying MT, it's pretty much been downhill since then, for the most part anyway. This is really interesting, though, because 2K's response to this Paul George, people are calling it a glitch, but it's not a glitch. It was their mistake. They posted him for the wrong price. The response that 2K has to this Paul George issue, though, is going to be really, really interesting, because obviously this happened a couple weeks ago when the Season Rewind cards came out, and Kyle Kuzma and Rudy Gobert were both buyable for 1,000 MT, and then you could sell them back for 70K or whatever it was. So a bunch of people made a bunch of MT and got a bunch of cards off of it. But it was only in the game for like, what, 20, 30 minutes, and then it got patched, and then they wiped all the MT off of people's accounts. It wasn't quite as big of an issue. Now, this was in the game, admittedly in the middle of the night, in at least the US, but for 5 hours, tons and tons of people took advantage of this, and tons of people took advantage of this to a massive extent. If 2K were to not wipe MT, this would set certain people up, or a pretty good chunk of the community up, to be honest, at least the community that's tapped in on Twitter and stuff, up where they literally don't have to spend money for months, if not borderline the rest of the year on MT, with how good their teams already are and with how much MT they might now have saved. So it's going to be interesting to see if 2K decides to wipe the MT, and I think they will wind up wiping the MT, because that's what they did with this Kuzma Gobert situation, which is pretty similar. They dropped a diamond locker code for your choice of Kuzma or Gobert, and it wound up working out okay, and people kind of forgot about it. Then this happens, and now every single person, well, not every single person, but a ton of people now have every single card in the game completely for free. And while I personally am not mad that I don't, because I didn't personally take advantage of this glitch, I was asleep. I didn't see it. So by the time that I was up and on Twitter, the glitch was already patched. Like, not glitch, the mistake was already patched. So for me personally, didn't even benefit me. But this could be really bad, potentially. The thing that I am worried about is if 2K starts banning. If 2K starts banning, starts wiping accounts, starts taking cards off of people's accounts, things like that, those are the issues in which this could become a catastrophe for my team. I actually think if 2K does nothing, that might be the best course of action. To just do nothing and act like it didn't happen. Or I don't know. I say that. That's kind of what they're doing currently to this point. I think they should really put a tweet out about this, basically saying something to the extent of, this is what I would do if I was in charge at 2K of their decision making right now for my team. What I would do is put out a tweet and go, we have realized that we accidentally posted or made this Paul George card buyable for way cheaper than he should have been. It was our mistake, and it wound up benefiting a lot of players, and we apologize for all the players who were not able to take advantage of this. Probably would drop some sort of locker code as well, in my opinion, to give them some sort of free stuff. But basically would say we're going to try our best to prevent this type of stuff from happening in the future, and we're not actually going to do anything. I would communicate that they're not actually going to do anything to people's accounts, because this is their fault. They made the mistake. I think they should pay the consequences for it. Plain and simple. If it costs them money, it costs them money. Oh, well, this is their fault. Stop making mistakes. Stop screwing up. And I mean, it is entirely on 2K here. This is their fault, and if it winds up costing them revenue, that's their own fault. They need to handle this properly, though, because if they start coming in trying to wipe cards off people's accounts, and banning would be even worse. If they ban people for their mistake, that could be catastrophic for this game as a whole. I also think there could be legal issues if they start doing stuff like that. I wonder how legally this would work if somebody were to quote-unquote sue, if they were to wipe accounts and stuff like that. I don't know what's going to happen in the situation. I'm really intrigued to see what does happen. And the thing that makes it even more intriguing is the fact that all the employees are on vacation right now until January 8th. For the next 2 weeks, all the people in office for 2K are not actually in office. Everybody's at home. I think that's a big part of why it took 5 hours for this to get patched, is because they had to find somebody who could go into the offices or whatever they had to do to fix this problem. It took a very long time for the mistake to be patched because of all these people who are on vacation, not to mention obviously the mistake happening in the middle of the night. But I don't remember the last time something like this really happened. I guess it was probably, beginning of 2K19? There was a big VC glitch, or was that 2K20? 2K19 or 2K20, there was a massive VC glitch at the beginning of the year, and it wound up setting a lot of people up with a lot of stuff toward the end that basically lasted then throughout much of the year. But that was a very long time ago, and we have not seen a game-breaking mistake / glitch like this in a very, very long time. And it's really interesting to see that it's actually their fault, like entirely their fault. It's just a mistake that they made. It's not a glitch. It wasn't even a program mistake or whatever. It was just a glitch. I mean, it wasn't a glitch. It was just a mistake by them, whoever was in charge of this. And that's unfortunate for 2K as a company and as a business, but there are positive ways to handle this and negative ways to handle this. And I'm really, really, truly intrigued to see which is which and what winds up happening. Now, with that being said, I have 7,000 MT and 2,000 VC. Like, I really wish I had taken advantage of this, to be completely honest, because it'd be really nice to have Kobe. I don't have Kobe. I don't have Penny locked in. I don't have Halliburton locked in. I don't have Iggy locked in. Like, I don't have a lot of this Kobe set locked in. I haven't been spending very much money on this game. And while I still have a very, very good, very, very souped-up team, I personally was not able to take advantage of this, and therefore my team is not as good as some of these people's. Like, people have every single card and are souped up, and Kobe and all these cards, and I don't have that. That's okay. I just want to say I really do believe it is okay regardless. And while I'm not a fan of, I don't like glitches, and I don't want them to happen prevalently in my team, and I feel like they're happening too much. I like that it benefited a lot of people, and I hope that 2K handles this properly, because I think if they handle this improperly, whenever it may wind up being that they wind up doing something about this, whatever winds up happening because of this mistake, I hope it's handled properly, and I hope it's handled in a way that treats their customers with respect and doesn't just completely take advantage of them and ignore the fact that it was 2K's mistake. Because if that happens, I don't know. There are a lot of things 2K does wrong, but this is an opportunity for them to do right. I think they honestly did right for the most part with the Gobert-Kuzma situation, and I honestly wouldn't have a problem with them wiping MT, but if they try to wipe the cards off people's accounts, or especially if they start banning people, which there are rumors going around, but it doesn't look like anybody's actually been banned for buying this PG and doing this quote-unquote glitch, but really this mistake MT making method that was available for a few hours. That is where it could really get bad, is if they do decide to ban. As a whole, I'm really intrigued to see what happens, though. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts. First of all, were y'all able to get in on this and take advantage of this, get yourself a bunch of free cards, and soup up your squad for free? Or did y'all miss out? And what do y'all think 2K's response should be? I would love to truly hear y'all's opinion on what y'all think 2K should do in this situation. But just kind of wanted to bring a video out here, bring this to light for those y'all who weren't aware of what happened, and just share my thoughts on the situation. So if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.